locked in my decision to have a collision with my purpose. It is my assignment to be in alignment with my purpose. I'm locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, I'm all yours. Locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, your will, your will. Locked in my decision to have a collision with my purpose. It is my assignment to be in alignment with my purpose. Have a collision with purpose, 'cause you know that you're worth it, and your dream is worth capturing. If I'm not living on purpose, then none of it is worth it. My assignment is uplifting souls for the King, souls for the King, souls for the King.
Hello, hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to In the Spotlight. This is the home of unfiltered conversations, and this is where real talk is what we do. I am none other than Donna Thompson.
And I'm Dr. Laxley Stephenson, and together we're your host. Donna, another week, another Monday.
Yes.
What's going on?
Oh, wow. Well, it's another Monday, and so far the week has started off pretty good. It was quite warm today, right? On my side of the world here in Atlanta, it was quite warm, but nevertheless, thankful that we're here and we're healthy and we're doing well, and we have so much to talk about this evening.
And so much to be thankful and grateful for, right? That it was 90 something degrees. Man, I think we're blessed. We're so fortunate that it is 90 something degrees. There's some discomfort with that, but so what? Imagine a couple months from now, 3 months from now, if you're living in certain parts of this country, when that snow kicked in and all that other stuff started to roll in, the argument is, I wish it was 91 degrees. So aren't we lucky, fortunate? Right? So it's a big thing. It's a big deal. Yes, we have so much to talk about tonight, and let's kick it off with our big event coming up. I mean, it's all big events that we have, right? Because it's all about people, and nothing that is about people is small. So it's about people. So let's talk a little bit about a collision with purpose, our colloquium.
Right. So our colloquium is coming up February 22nd, 2025. And of course, that will be at the Shiloh High School, same venue where we had it this year. And of course, we'll start at 6 p.m. Same time the doors open at 5 p.m. However, we're going to have an evening of entertainment from children, students from the various communities around the Atlanta region. We're gonna, of course, it's all about students as well. And we're gonna honor members of the community who they're doing the work in the community of serving humanity, right? But they may not have been recognized, and we want to be able to, honor these individuals and give them their flowers, like we would say, while they're here, so we can show that they're appreciated and encourage them to continue doing the work that they're doing to serve their communities, their surrounding communities, and humanity on a whole. And like I said, we're going to have entertainment. We're going to have speakers. We have special guests that's coming from across across the waters. We will have a special guest that will be there with us as well, that will be joining the evening of fun entertainment, and definitely lots of networking that will be taking place. I like to tell individuals that this colloquium, it's not like any other event, right? Yes, we'll also have the launch of Dr. Stephenson book, Daily Insights, Your Odyssey to Find Purpose. We'll have that launch. But also, I like to say, when you come to the event, come empty with an open mind, so that you will leave with your vessel filled and overflowing with knowledge, inspiration, everything that you can possibly think of will happen for you at that event. So just come there having an open mind, and I guarantee you will definitely leave there a different person than when you came through those doors.
Absolutely. So it's an opportunity to reconnect with yourself and with others, of course. So, but you know what I like about our business and the colloquium in particular is, yes, we're going to be giving out our community Keystone Awards to individuals who are doing amazing work, and that's powerful. But for me, it's all about the next generation, right? The kids, the students. Students attend for free, and we will be giving out scholarships for students in attendance. So that, for me, is the big part when we're supporting and serving the next generation. So if for no other reason you should be there, that's one reason, to help us support our next generation, the students who will be in attendance, and some we will also give out some scholarships way across the pond, right? For living in countries far, far, far away from here. So that is a colloquium, Your Odyssey to Find Purpose, and that's what this is all about. Your Odyssey, not mine, not Donna's, not our guests, but your odyssey to find purpose. If you're living in your purpose, all the better. But because purpose is not a destination, it's ongoing. So your work is not done. So join us, get with us, and be a part of this momentum occasion. All right. So what else we have going on, Donna? I'm going to play a video, and we have a special guest tonight, so we don't want to take up too much time with us talking. We want to bring her on because her story is so compelling that it needs to be told, and it will be told here tonight. So I want to play this video, and then I want you to talk through it. All right. Once it's done, I want you to say something about it. All right.
Caught in the web of what they said, lost in the expectations, living in hesitation. I walked in other shadows. Deep inside, a fire burned, a whisper turned to a roar. I am liberated from walking in other shadows. I walk in my authentic self, breaking chains within. From the shadows to the light, a new life begins, shining so bright. Society tries to mold you into someone you couldn't be, fighting through the darkness to find the real me. No longer bound by others' rules, let your spirit soar. With every step you take, you are stronger than before. I am liberated from walking in other shadows.
Right. So Donna, what is that all about? I'm liberated from walking in other shadows. What is that all about?
Yes. So let me start just by saying that, of course, this will be an anthology where we'll have several co-authors sharing their stories, right? In Shadows Within. And it's really about telling our stories, how we have lived majority of our lives, or still living our life in other people's shadows, and shadows of, it could be family, society, but everything, the shadows that we've been living in, basically, it's where it's been determined for you who you should be, what you should be, how you ought to speak, how you ought to present yourself. And you get to a point where you struggle, right? You live your life struggling with expectations of society and who you should be. It's like that, having that one thing on one shoulder, the good, the bad type thing. And then you get to a point where you're just like, I can't do it anymore. You've lived your life in darkness, and now you have to break free from that, because you have to find yourself. You have to find your true being. And so it's really telling that story, how you've gone through that, and how you have found yourself and really have become liberated in that, to where you can say, now this is who I am. Authentically, this is who I am. And this is the life that I'm going to live. And basically just saying, like me or don't, but this is who I am. And sharing that story is what we're doing, and hoping that, it will impact and inspire someone else who may be living in that dark place of still trying to discover who they are. And by sharing that, hopefully it will help others to just break free from all those societal expectations and really become fulfilled in their being here.
So my question is, how can someone become a part of this project?
Okay, so you can either email me and I'll put my email address in here at dlthompson2009@gmail.com, or visit on the website, which is www.donnalthompson.com and acollisionwithpurpose.com.
All right, there you have it. We'll put it in the chat. And I know I've lived in shadows of other people. I've walked in there, and I'm still living in there. So I know I'm one who's seeking to find my way out of that place. So I suspect that many out there are doing the same thing. And if we're willing to look in that mirror and ask that question, who am I? How am I living my life? Am I walking in my footsteps? I venture to say that 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear, if you're honest, you will say, I am not. So it's time to do something about it. And this book, Shadows Within, is that opportunity to get started. So get on board, contact Donna, at acollisionwithpurpose@gmail.com, or the other email address she gave out. So Donna, I think let's take a quick break, and then we'll bring our special guest on tonight. We want to give her all the opportunity to tell her story, because it's a story worth telling.
Okay.
Is it okay for the break?
Yep, let's take a break.
All right. Let's talk about bold kids, all right?
All right.
I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth, cause I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as He told me to pray, for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, He is in me. I am a bold kid, He loves me, standing firm on His word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because He is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth, because I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
Wow. The only question I have, Donna, are you a bold kid?
Oh, I'm trying to, yes.
Are you fearlessly made?
I absolutely am.
Absolutely. So the bold kid, the whole product line is about to go live, and that's another story right there. And that's another story that is going to unfold in a big time way. You know, we're talking about books, we're talking about merchandise, we're talking about the messaging. Talking about the messaging, you know, and what we need, what is lacking in our space, in our culture, in our society, in the world we live in. So just another example of what's happening here under the A Collision with Purpose banner. So Donna, we have some business to take care of. Let's get to the business at hand. Let's read it out for us. The bio, the introduction.
Okay, so our special guest this evening that will be joining us is none other than Dr. Karla Hylton. And I'm just going to read her bio a little bit because this, I'm going to say young lady has an extensive bio. So I'm not going to tell you everything because she's going to have to come and tell us about herself, right? But she is a multiple award-winning author. She's an educator and mental health advocate. She holds her PhD in biotechnology. She has a postgraduate diploma in education and certification in mental health studies. What I find really, and I can't wait to hear more about this, is that she has a deep understanding of the body's cellular memory and ancestral DNA, which informs her holistic approach to mental health. Can't wait to hear more about that. And she is the founder of Your Empowerment Solutions Yes Institute. So without further ado, we're going to do our drum roll. We're going to have to get
There you go. Roll it up. Bring it up while I bring her on. Right, I bring her on. And there she is.
Welcome, Dr. Hylton.
Thank you. Good evening, both of you.
Good evening, Doc. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. You know, your story is so big that what else can we do? It's a platform that you're gracing us with your presence today, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So before I know Donna read a part of your extensive bio, but just through your perspective, your lenses, share with our listeners, our audience, anyone watching, and they will be watching this replay, who is Dr. Karla Hylton?
Okay, well, I am a Jamaican, born and grown. I'm a woman with many who have suffered through many traumatic events in her life, mental health issues, but I have overcome and I have now seen that there is a purpose to my life, which was something for maybe 50 years of my life. I did not see the purpose in my life. But after a series of many unfortunate events, if I might say so, but including 2 suicide attempts, the last one, when I survived that one, there was no doubt in my mind that God had saved me, and there absolutely must be a purpose for my life. And since then, I believe I have transformed my life, and I am now in the business of helping others. And this is what I'm doing, and this is what I think I was perhaps meant to do. I do believe this is what my purpose is.
You know, you just described what a collision with purpose is, because you've certainly had your collision, which is very much pain to purpose, right?
Definitely.
Pain to purpose, and you're that person, that example that is in my book, A Collision with Purpose, In Pursuit of Purpose. One of the category in that book is pain to purpose.
I
and
see, yes.
You're that example, and what and all those individuals in the book use that situation and turn it into now they're helping others, which is exactly what you're doing.
Right.
So, so we commend you for not letting that thing conquer you and hold you down, but for you to see value in your life and that you're here for a reason beyond your experience at that time, and to turn it around. So it's a big deal. Big deal.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. And a lot of persons are lost. They can't see their way. You know, we're living in a generation where suicidal ideation has become much more common among persons that you might think, you know, should not have these feelings and thoughts, because, you know, you look at them and you say that they are successful, they are doing this, they're doing that, and therefore why should they feel as if they have no purpose, when you on the outside might see that for them, right? But it has to come from within, and it can take some time for a person to see from within that they actually are valuable. Because society, the way society has, you know, I'm from many decades ago, and you were brought up with certain expectations, you know, trying to please parents, trying to make sure you're always accomplishing the A's and the A pluses, and not to disappoint people, that you lose yourself. You don't really know who you are. You know who your parents would like you to be, or who your husband would like you to be, but not who you really are. And I think it's important for persons to find that out.
So what are your thoughts? You know, I played that video, Shadows Within, because you're talking about shadows
Yes.
within.
Yes, I was very intrigued by it.
I was watching you backstage.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I definitely will have to get a copy of that. But yes, we do live in the shadows of others.
Well, you could do better. You could write the story in that one.
Write your story.
Definitely.
You could do one better than getting a copy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Donna, you know, I'm gonna turn it over to you, because I know you have some questions for Dr. Karla.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely am extending an invite for you to come along and share your story in Shadows Within, because oh my gosh, you hit the nail right on the head there, how these expectations can lead us in such a way that people will see you as being successful, but they don't know the deep, dark things that you're having to fight with, right?
Right.
But one thing that I when I was reading your bio, and I found very, like I said, I found very intriguing, is the reference to the cellular memory and ancestral DNA. Can you explain your thought pattern on that a little bit more for me? I'm very curious to kind of understand a little bit more about that concept.
Okay. You know, because I have a scientific mind, I did not actually go into genetics deeply when I was doing my PhD in biotechnology. I was more, my research was on plant biotechnology, but I have always had psychological issues, mental health issues. I was always depressed. I had suicidal ideation, thoughts. I couldn't get along well with my mother, for example. And, you know, and I started to explore. I love books. So I started to explore books and, you know, I started to learn more about the cells and the memories that are held within cells. So trauma from early age is definitely carried in our DNA. And I personally have been through quite a lot of trauma from a young age. For example, at around 5 years old, there was a home invasion where 9 armed men took us all out of our home, etc., etc. It's all in the book. But, you know, imagine that type of trauma on a 5-year-old. And then that was in the 1970s. So, and in Jamaica, there wasn't a lot of mental health professionals to, you know, walk you through the trauma and so on. And you realize that I held on to a lot of those memories, even though it's not like I was thinking about it every day, but
Mhm.
it was there subconsciously. It is there written in our DNA. It is stored there. Just like it is stored in our brains, in our memories, it is stored in the DNA. And we have to come to terms with it. So I grew up with that constant fear of abandonment, in that I thought something bad would happen to my parents, because something bad did happen, right? And we could have been killed. And, so, every time they leave, you wonder, are they going to come back?
Mhm.
And things like that. So throughout my life, I have suffered from this fear of abandonment. Now, they also say from the literature that ancestral DNA inherited from our parents, from our grandparents, and some of the trauma they experienced is still carried in our cellular DNA. It is, if you like quantum physics, which is something else that I am interested in because I just find it very fascinating, it tells you there's so much information and so much research that is done that is not necessarily made into a big deal. Not everybody knows about it, then, put it that way, where your DNA can be taken from you, and just some cells and some DNA taken and transported miles away, and it is reacting the same way you are reacting 1,000 miles away, so to speak. So I'm just putting it very simply, right? So there is a very complex interplay between mind and body, right? And we don't know everything yet. The research continues, right? Autoimmune diseases, which I suffered from, which I no longer have, which again is sort of does not make sense, right? When you have an autoimmune disease, you're supposed to have it for life, right?
Mhm.
I had both lupus, and I had lupus for about 5 years, and then it just went. And then I developed another autoimmune disease, uveitis, which was a disease that affects your eyes. And when I was able to actually reflect on what was happening to me during those times, you realize that I was so unhappy and I wanted to be out of this life, that my body was doing exactly what I asked it to do, killing me, so to speak. Right? It was killing me, because an autoimmune disease is one where your body, your immune system attacks its own cells. Right? So I was killing myself in the form of this disease, because generally the lupus can be fatal, and uveitis can cause you to go blind. So perhaps I didn't want to see what was really happening. Sometimes it's really very, very interesting, the concept of cellular memory. And it really just suggests that our bodies remember far more than we consciously know. It influences everything from our health to our emotional state.
And I asked you that because I've had conversations in reference to what you're speaking about. So that's why I found it very intriguing that someone else actually was talking about this stuff. Because just like how you're saying, like, like characteristics and behaviors and things like that, they say come down through the whole DNA. So it's very interesting that you're speaking about now the potential of all those traumatic experiences that may have happened with our foreparents way back when, also coming down through DNA.
Right. And therefore, with that knowledge, we have to now rewire our mind. If we can rewire the mind, the brain, we can heal our body. And it's not just, they say rewire your mind, heal your body. It's not just a metaphor. It's based on the idea of neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to change and adapt. which in turn will influence the behavior of your cells and the expression of genes. So gene expression is something that we can consciously, change, rewiring those neural connections in the brain.
Yeah, the mind is a powerful thing, right? And
It-
how we use it and how we allow it to be used.
Yes.
Yes, it's so powerful, so powerful. I want to bring up, you mentioned the book a few times.
Mhm.
So I want to bring the book up on so we can all show what the book is and you can talk to us about the book. How about that?
Sure. There are actually two books. The first one, The Unvarnished Truth, Purpose in the Pain. It is a memoir. It goes through my life story from 6 months old up until just a few years ago. It is an emotional and very raw account of the traumas that I have endured, the effect it had on my self-esteem, the need I had to please others. And, it then goes into marriage to a narcissistic individual. And, I spent 3 decades, almost 3 decades in such a marriage. And, what it took to actually just break free and leave the marriage, the separation, the brutality of the separation and divorce. And then ultimately, the most heartbreaking for me was the estrangement from my 2 adult children. And, you might ask me, why did they estrange themselves? And I would not be able to answer the question simply because they have never told me, because I have not been able to communicate with them. What I can say is that during the whole divorce process and trying to sort out the financial aspects of a divorce, and the court had to come into play, both of them, who I was very, 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 very close to, decided to cut off communication. And I'm not sure why. And I pray for them every day, because I do know that it must be seriously affecting them as well. But it affected me to the point that I did attempt suicide, which was the second attempt. And I don't know how I lived through that, but I did. And it was only through the hand of God.
And the purpose that you have
Yes.
yet to serve.
God pulled me out of that. The doctors didn't think I would necessarily pull out. They thought I would be brain damaged. They thought, but none of that. So yes, I am here for a reason.
And you did say it's 2 books, so I want to move to the second book. Let's get to the second. Okay, there we go.
Yes, this second book, The Vanquishing Monsters, is actually it's a workbook. It's a companion workbook to the memoir. I wrote it after so many persons kept calling and asking for further advice. How did I do this? How did I do that? And so, it is a transformative companion. It offers persons an introspective journey through some of the themes that I went through in the memoir, such as narcissism, suicidal ideation, estrangement, marriage, divorce. And of course, the final chapter actually goes through spirituality. It is my hope that the workbook help persons to pave that path towards forgiveness, financial empowerment, self-esteem. We need to improve our self-esteem and self-belief. You know, that is the reason that I wrote that workbook. It was time consuming because there are lots of exercises in it, you know, for people to work through their issues. But I do hope it will be helpful to persons.
Yes, 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 and it will be helpful. In fact, let me put the link up where you can purchase. Let me do this and clean this up a little. There you go. That's the link right there. That's, I believe that's is that an Amazon link that we have there?
There's an Amazon link. They can also find it on my website.
Right, there's an Amazon link right there. It's in the chat, so this is a book that I highly recommend. Go out there, get your copy. There is something in both books for you. There's a story, and then there's an opportunity to work through your situation. So this is a book. It's a must read. Not a read, not just a read, but a must. You know, Donna, what do I say? You take it from there. Why is this book? Why is this book important?
It's important because if you're going through something similar to what Dr. Hylton has gone through, if you're going through it or you're there, it's a book that is going to help you to get to the other end of finding your purpose or beginning to live in your purpose, and show you that there is light, right? There is still light going through that dark tunnel, and it, you know, and it will give you the steps and the guide to get there, because oftentimes you don't know, you feel abandoned and you don't know where to go and what to do. And I'm probably going to get off topic, but I wanted to say that you had touched on a really great point when we speak about mental health. And this is part of why I think this will really help a lot of people, because sometimes you seem like you have it all together. Life is great. And we're living in a society now where you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to hear the negative stuff from my friends, you know, cut them off. You know, I just want to be around all the positive stuff and everything. And you never know what someone is going through.
Right.
You know, and sometimes we tend to isolate individuals who really need help. So I think this is something that will definitely, you know, help someone who they may be in that position and they just need resource to get to the other end, to get through it.
You know, let me jump in here, because you know who I believe this book is so powerful and who really need it are those strong friends of ours. The ones who we believe are doing okay. They're the ones that need to get this book. You know, those who are obviously in trouble, we know they are there, right? But there's so many individuals out there who we believe they have it going on. They got it all right. There are a lot of those out there. This book is a perfect fit for them. They're the ones I'm reaching out and appealing to. You know, look in that mirror again and ask yourself, am I the person that I am putting out there to the world? Am I that person? Take that veil off. Take that thing off your face. Lose it. And see yourself as you really are. And then seek the necessary help that you need. And everything that I'm hearing from Dr. Hylton, this is a book that can help, you know, can walk you, especially like companion. It's not just a companion book because it's companion. It can be your companion to move you to that place. So, yeah. That's what that book or those books are about. So, Doc, we move it back to you. What else you want to share with us about the unvarnished truth?
Well, I guess I could continue. I mentioned the fact that, you know, I grew up with this fear of abandonment, and then became a people pleaser. And a lot of us are people pleasing, you know. but it does have detrimental effects on our psyche. We become an approval addict, and therefore you make so much effort to keep persons in your life, to the detriment of yourself, right? Which is always going to lead to heartache issues, mental health problems. So apart from the fear of abandonment, I was also afraid of rejection. I was that overmothered. There is such a word, right? I became a mother that catered to every need of my children, and I made them the center of my world, which of course is very wrong. God is the entity that should be at the center of our world, right? And I instead made my children the center of my world. And in so doing, I kept my children in a bubble, shielding them from the reality that is life, and towards, my mental health decline resulted from the abandonment and rejection of both my children. It was just so, what's the word? Just how it all came together, that the two things that I feared the most, rejection and abandonment, I had to walk through it because it came from the two persons I loved the most in this world, and there was nothing I could do to change it. So I had to walk through the fire, right? But I didn't want to walk through the fire, and that's why I attempted suicide. And I just did not want to live without them. But I had to walk through the fire, and I came out on the other side. And I'm okay. I still wish they were part of my life, but I'm okay.
And they are a part of your life.
Yes.
And they will always be a part of your life.
Well, yes, my DNA lies in them. Right. We're speaking about.
And there's a story that's is unfolding where that is concerned.
Yes.
It's not a story that is told. It's being, right? So it's continuing, it's ongoing. So it will all come to its final place where it belongs. So, you talk about walking through the fire. I'm going to take a break, on-screen break, and we're going to walk through the fire.
Okay.
How about that?
In the forge of life, from the strong survive. A tale is written of hearts that strive. Through fire and flame, they find their way, becoming iron where courage holds sway. Becoming iron, with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction, rising even higher. Displaying strength in the fiercest fight, becoming iron, shining in the night. Faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Together they rise, conquering fears, becoming iron through trials and tears. Becoming iron, with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction, rising even higher. Displaying strength in the fiercest fight, becoming iron, shining in the night. Becoming iron, shining in the night.
Right, becoming iron, shining in the night. Tales of courage and what? Conviction, men becoming iron. So, Donna, you're the explainer. You do that so well. So talk to me about becoming iron, tales of courage and conviction. And why is this project such a big, big, big piece of who we are at A Collision with Purpose?
Yeah, so, of course, Becoming Iron is also an anthology where you'll have several men, or young men, older men, young men, who share their stories about their path through their journey in this life, right? And the things that they've had to endure and overcome. And it's important. It's important for this project, because oftentimes, sometimes we look at men and we have so much expectations, what they should be, what they ought to be, and all this stuff, right? The same thing, we put standards on men, and we don't oftentimes realize that they too have gone through things in their life, and what they have to do and endure to become this strong person, to overcome. And so this is where they get a platform to share their stories, in how they've had to, become that stronger person in their journey of this life. And of course, Dr. Stephenson is the visionary author of this wonderful piece of work, and he's going to tell us more about it. But it's a great piece of work, and I can't wait to see the final product.
I'm excited about this. This is going to become a template for men. Template for men. We have 4 men that we defined. We have the brave man, we have the empowering man, we have the inspired man, and the resilient man. And this is by invitation only. Right now, as it stands, I'm receiving requests from all across the globe, from Kenya, from other parts of the world, in Nigeria. There's a group that they form in Nigeria, and someone called me up and said, I see your book. They're using it for the name of their group, Becoming Iron. And I said, but your name is on it. They didn't remove your name. And this was in Nigeria, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a huge project. It's a project that is going to change the game. I don't want to use the word real men, because every man is real, right? But I'm talking about men who are doing what they're here to do. Understanding their sense, their reason why they are men living in these times, especially. Not back then, because it was a different story, right? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about today, the realities of today. We're living in the now, in the present. And that's what this book, this is a game changer. There will be 21 authors in this book. I'll have a story in there as well. And I've already determined that I'm that brave man. I'm going to walk and come out of the fire, no matter what. Just as Dr. Karla did, she walked through that place. It was hot at times, right?
Definitely.
Burn you at times, right?
Yep.
But guess what? You had to come through, right? So you face the darkest night, and that's the brave person. There's such a thing as a resilient man. He knows where he belongs. No matter what is going on, he knows that he got to stay in the game. No matter what. So that's Becoming Iron. It's a big piece of our work. It will be, in fact, we'll make that final announcement in February at the colloquium. We'll make the final announcement when we will publish that book. I suspect that with so many books that we have in the making, we have Daily Insights Unveiled, Your Personal Odyssey to Find Purpose. We have Shadows Within, and now we have Becoming Iron. So we have to be very strategic, of course, how we release all these powerful books. Every single one of them, just like your book, the Unvarnished Truth, speak to who you need to be, not necessarily who you are, but who you need to be, who you believe you are, and what you can become, who you can become. So, all right, so enough about that. Let's get the story back where it belongs. And we have Miss Sharon Thompson saying, great to see you, Dr. Karla. You have some fans out there, I'm telling you. You have some fans out there. And
Sometimes, okay.
Sharon's been a co-host on this platform and this very show.
Oh,
Sharon,
okay.
you can come back on whenever. Just let us know. And we have Mr. Garfield McCook. He's saying great information and conversation. So we should say to all those watching out there, share the love, right? Spread the word. Share the live. If it's good for you, then it's good for others. Don't hold on to it. Spread it, spread it, spread it. So let's bring it back to Doc, because I know she's got so much more to share with us. So we're going to bring it back to you.
Okay. One of my newfound direction or purpose is to help those persons who are suicidal. And we're still in the month of September, which is recognized as Suicide Prevention Month. And I think personally, having been through the storm of suicide attempts as well as feeling suicidal from a very young age, I believe that, emotional regulation need to be taught in school. I think just as how we teach students about their bodies, we're talking about younger students now. Honestly, I feel that we need to be able to teach students how to manage their emotions, how to express it, because we don't want to hide the feelings. Not suggesting that we are hiding the feelings, but we should be able to be open and express how we feel and help students to master conflict resolution, anger management. Of course, we see what's going on in the schools recently and so on. A lot of it is because there is so much pent up hurt inside these students and they have no one to really talk to about it. And I think that's something that we need to bring into the schools.
You recently came from Jamaica, so I want you to bring us back to schools in Jamaica relative to what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm. Jamaica, as you know, we have big problems and big disparity in the whole education system in Jamaica. It's really, really very sad to move from one in Jamaica, they would say uptown school versus another more rural school. And I have been around as an educator, I've been around to a few of these schools and given talks and so on. And it's heartbreaking. If the parents are not financially wealthy to give students the extra classes and all of that, these students are lost. Class sizes are large. Some of the teachers, will spend the extra time, some won't. Some teachers get frustrated. The students can be disrespectful to the teachers, and obviously they will take offense. There's so many issues. And a lot of times, most importantly, I was at a school in, was it March of this year? And a fifth former came up to me. So that child would be about 15 or 16. And she said, what would happen if I go in the exam and I can't understand? No, sorry, let me rephrase that. She was saying that she will go into the exam and know the answer, but she can't put it down in words. She can't write the words. She can't spell the words and so on. This is a 15, 16-year-old child. How can that be happening in our home country where so many students, they just can't really read and write? Basic as that is, So that's a big, big problem. That's not even going into the mental side of things. That's going into the academic side of things.
And that's so sad because we have some experience working with schools in Jamaica with our nonprofit agency. And exactly what you're saying, in some areas, in the rural areas, it's bad. You find, and they have to move these kids on from the primary to the high school.
That's what I don't understand. Why do we move them on?
Because they create space. And you cannot keep the primary school clogged up because you only have so many seats. So they move them on to the high school, and you have kids graduating that can't read. High percentage. And I'll tell you something else. I have a relative who is in the she retired from the New York public school system. And years ago, they were excited when a Jamaican student was coming into their school from Jamaica into the United States. Not anymore, because their standard of education dropped. It's not the same. Yeah, and that's just facts, right? There was a time when you leave Jamaica, you come over here and you attend school. It was bright, you were sharp. That's no longer the case. You don't look forward to that student who was just ahead of the curve, way ahead of the curve. So something really happened. And, we're all Jamaicans on this platform. So now we're talking about Jamaica because we have a vested interest in our own country, right? In our country. For me, the only country I have. I belong to. I don't have it, but I belong to. So that is so important. There's some work that needs to be done there.
Definitely. And the education system needs a big overhaul.
Need a new system.
New system and it starts from the primary level, A lot of these students
it start, what we do now, we're going into that very basic school. But that's where it starts. That's
yes.
We don't even look at primary schools anymore with our organization. We go into those basic schools. That's where you have to fix it. It's almost like you say, okay, it's out the gate, you're gone. No, we have to go down right there to the base, to the foundation, and build anew.
Yep. And a lot of our students are also neurodiverse, and we don't really have a good system in place in Jamaica at the moment to identify these individuals and how to teach them based on their differences, and our classroom sizes are way too big, and we need more teachers. We need more qualified teachers. There's so many things.
Well, I've gone to schools and I've visited enough of them, right? And Donna, you have as well, because that's the work we do with our nonprofit agency. We're very visible in schools in Jamaica. We've gone to schools where they were in the classroom. Students were learning outside under the tree. But you know what I discovered? They were the fortunate ones. Inside the classroom, it was so hot. So they were the fortunate ones. And then it starts to rain. So it's a better learning, more conducive environment for learning outside than in the classroom. Yeah, so that's the state of our country, of our education system. So, Donna.
Yeah, it's I can go on and on about that whole education system. Because just like what you touched on, Dr. Hylton, is that we're living in different times, different generations, and we have to be more creative in how we teach our children. Some of the old ways. I mean, not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but some of it is not working for the current generation that we have, because the current generation, they're exposed to technologies and so much at such a younger age than when we were going to school. We didn't have those things, so we had to write, we had to manually do everything, where now it's, when we talk about the whole brain and development of the brain, right? It's so different. So it's like they're over here and we're still trying to teach over here. So it's not connected. And we're losing our children when it comes on to our teaching, because we have those old things that we're still having to work those out.
Definitely. I totally agree. We have to find a new way. New technologies around, and we have to appeal to the youngsters. So
there you go. It's how we communicate, right, with each other. And
right.
too many of, I don't want to put myself in that category. Too many older people have detached themselves, believe that, this is not the way. But if you're living in these times, we're all living in the same time. We must learn how to adapt as older, more mature people with what is happening today. But that's the world you're living in.
Yep.
It's the only world you're living in, not 20 years ago. All right. So you have some folks here reaching out to you. You know, Sharon, thanks for joining. Carlene Williams here, thanks for joining. And all those who are, Angie Mitchell, she joined us again. Thanks, Angie. Always happy to have you on. We need to get you back on the show, because I know your story is another big time story that we need to share. So yes, so Donna, you know, we're getting close to the hour. Any other questions for Dr. Karla?
So I do have a question for you, because I know you express the, you know, all the different mental challenges that you had, right? That you dealt with, and now you're in a new place. You're now here in the States. I wanted to ask you, do you still fight those battles of those suicidal ideations? Is that a constant battle for you? And if it is, like, what strategies do you have to combat those things?
Okay, I'm at a place in my life now where no, I am not constantly battling suicidal ideation thoughts. They do, however, come back occasionally. And I don't believe anybody who tends to be like this can ever be 100% free of it. However, I would want to say I am 95% free of it. When that 5% now, that, you know, when the odd thought comes into my mind, I have to willfully and consciously think about things to be grateful for. I think gratitude is really, really very important. And everybody has something to be grateful for. I have to remind myself when that occurs to look at what I have. We don't look at what I don't have or wish I had, which is hard. You know, focus on what I do have and try to look forward. Regret is looking backward, and sometimes, you know, we are going to have, those thoughts coming in, but I have to consciously push them aside. Absolutely. That's what we have to do.
And I should say, you have so much.
Yes, I have a lot to be thankful for.
To be thankful and grateful for, and so much more to gain.
I do have a lot to be thankful for.
Exactly. You know, we're going to take another quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to have this question for you, Doc. So I want you to be ready. What's in the future for Dr. Karla Hylton? All right, so let's take a quick break, and we'll jump back on that.
Dr. Laxley leading the way above the end. Dr. Laxley, all kind of tales to tell, unearthing secrets where the truth dwells. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's case. Navigating the depths of wisdom's maze. Knowledge unfolds in its embrace. We stay with Dr. Laxley leading the way. Through the annals of time, we walk and learn. Each fact a treasure at every turn. Dr. Stephenson's voice, calm and profound. When questions need answers, insights are found. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's gaze. Now
So tonight we're raising a toast to Dr. Karla Hylton because she inspired.
Thank you.
Yes. And that is Daily Insights Unveiled. That book, we're building our colloquium around that book. And I promise anyone out there listening or watching us or will watch this broadcast, it's a life changer. Any was 75,000 words, any page you turn to and you open Daily Insights Unveiled, it will change your life. Yes, indeed. So, all right. So, welcome back. Welcome back. We're in the spotlight, as Donna would put it, the home where raw and unfiltered information is what it's all about. And tonight, it's been raw, it's unfiltered, and nothing is left on the table, right, Dr. Karla Hylton?
Nothing. Yes, correct.
Nothing is left on the table. So, you shared so much with us. You shared so much with us. You talk about where you're coming from, what you went through. You walked through the fire. You got burned. But guess what? You're not showing the scars on this platform tonight.
No.
You're not. And the scars, whatever they are, even though sometimes they resurface, you got it.
Thank you.
You got it in a big time way because you know you got so much to be grateful and thankful for. Your words. Your words. So my question is, what's next for Dr. Karla Hylton?
What's next? Actually, there was a program that I didn't actually mention to you that I have just come up with. It's called the MindFlex program, and it focuses on emotional control and cognitive development. And I really want to see this program take off. I've just developed it. Have one specially for young children, for teenagers, and one for seniors. And that's something that I want to continue working on. I also want to do some more writing. I enjoy writing, so I plan to continue my work as an author, and I want to work on some new material, particularly maybe a little bit more focused on suicide and suicidal ideation. I want to do speaking engagements, workshops. I want to continue to mentor and coach, do my life coaching. So all of that. And of course, do some philanthropic work as well.
No, can't leave that out.
No, can't leave that one out.
That is the foundation. That is what will bring all these things to life.
Yes.
The more you give, the more you share, and put it out there, the more will come back. At a collision with purpose, that is something we strongly believe in, and we live by those principles. When you put it out there, it will come back to you in ways that you can't believe it. And Donna, some of that is happening for us. I just want to make an announcement that we are in the process of signing some agreements with government entities in Kenya, where we'll be working with them in a real close, tight-knit way, where we'll be doing some major big things. One of the things that we're going to be working on in Kenya is we've started the Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO, community-based organization, and that is something that is going to be right across Kenya. It's not limited to any one location. So we see where that will go to 60 plus million people, and then we'll take it down the eastern coast of Africa. So that's the work we're doing here at a Collision with Purpose, and that's all about giving. It's a give, Dr. Karla. And what will happen because of that? We're not giving it with expectations. We're not doing it with expectations, but just the way the world works, right?
Yes.
As you put it out there, it's coming back, and it's coming back to a Collision with Purpose in a big time way. And Donna, you want to talk? You want to share anything, or should we leave that on the table? What is coming our way?
Yeah, we can leave it on the table, but you already said what we're doing, so it's a lot of work. But we're excited. We're excited for the work that's coming ahead. We don't shy away from purposeful work, which is what we're here for. and what we believe in. So, you know, the world is our playground, and we're excited for all the things that's happening.
And you know, we're going to Kenya. We're invited to come to Kenya in June. You know, and we can only bring 12 with us. And I think we already have 12. 12 to go to Kenya with us. And, you know, it's a good thing. But there will be many, many more ventures into Kenya and other parts of Africa for that matter. You know, for whatever reason, we're called to do our work in Africa. And right now we're in Kenya. So it's a good thing. So I think we're at the point now, unless Doc, you want to add something else that you haven't already said, we will do what we call closing arguments. We'll go around the room. So is there anything else you'd like to say that you didn't get the opportunity to say? What you want to say?
I think I've said a lot, but I would just encourage persons to, even the workbook, I think is beneficial to everybody, you know? So.
And we're talking about this workbook right here.
Yes, vanquishing monsters, because we all have monsters. So.
No, you tell someone they have monsters, and say, "What's she talking about? What is she talking about? What kind of monsters are in there that people have?"
Pain, abuse, estrangement, divorce, financial empowerment. That's not a monster, but that's how you can conquer the monster of financial dependence, right? Lots of good stuff in there.
Wow, lots of good stuff in there. All right, so Doc, here's your opportunity. Say your final words for tonight.
Well, I encourage everybody who, if you know somebody struggling with suicidal thoughts, to, you know, not to ignore them, not to say, "Oh, why do they feel that way?" but try to be supportive. Call that person. If there's a friend that you haven't heard from in a while who has suddenly gone quiet, it's probably time for you to take up the phone and call that person and encourage that person. And to everybody, I believe we can all write down every single day, even 5 things that we are grateful for. I think that's a good way to start our day.
What a way.
Gratitude. Wow. Yeah. Absolutely. Being grateful. So, I know that our evening has come to an end, but in wrapping up, you know, definitely would like to say thank you to the individuals who joined us this evening. We do appreciate your time. We do not take it for granted that you have spent your Monday evening with us. We hope that this evening's show, you found it to be very beneficial and informational for you. And like Dr. Hylton says, if you have someone out there who you have not heard from, go ahead and it's time to probably do a checkup on them and make sure that they're doing okay. Don't wait for them to reach out to you, right? Reach out first. And we do thank Dr. Hylton for joining us this evening. We thank you for sharing your story with us. I know that Dr. Stephenson's book, Becoming Iron, is really, you know, having the men, but wow, your story is, I'm telling you, right in there would be.
We can't change the rules. We can't change the rules. We're not changing the rules.
With being brave. So even though you're not male, but I believe that, you know, that applies to you becoming iron, and you're definitely a brave individual. I commend you for sharing your story and to continue your journey on bringing awareness to the whole mental health and wellness, and continuing on your path of doing your purposeful work through your pain and your disappointments. You're now doing your purposeful work. So with that said, you all have a wonderful
Let me
week.
say my piece.
No, and Dr. Stephenson is going to go ahead.
Say my piece. Because I would not. Oh wow, we got. Before I say my piece, I want to show this here.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
All right. Thanks for sharing that, Carlene Williams Sears. Appreciate that. Powerful, powerful. Now, this today in my daily challenge, I did a piece about gratitude. So it's confirmation that this is so much a part of the conversation today. And if you're interested and want to know more, it's over there on Facebook somewhere and everywhere, that piece about gratitude. But thank you, Dr. Karla Hylton, for accepting our invitation. And
thank you for having me. Thank you.
yes, appreciate you for that and for what you have shared with us tonight and all that you have shared. It's not easy for someone to come out here and go so deep inside and bring it out. Not too many. It requires courage and wanting to make a difference and wanting to change other people's lives for someone to do that. So it's a very unselfish act that the person would step out there like that and say, I'm going to tell on myself because I know it can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big, big piece. That's a big deal. And we commend you for that.
Thank you.
We do. So, and that leads me to my piece. It's about kindness. And that's a gesture of kindness right there. It's a big, big thing. So I'm encouraging anyone listening and watching and will watch this replay. Go out there tomorrow. And if it's only one thing, if it's a word, if it's an act or anything, do it for someone. Even a smile, a hug, whatever it is, believe me, it will make a difference. So that is my piece. One act of kindness. Make that challenge you to make it a commitment tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And also be kind to yourself. Because too many people are not. And I know that, Dr. Karla, you touched on that a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That self-compassion is critical. Because you can't love out there if you can't love in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're the expert. I'm not, but I believe that's so. That is so. Right? So with that said, now, Donna, you can send us home. That you gave me the opportunity to say my piece. And Doc, we ask that you stay backstage for a minute.
Okay.
All righty, everybody. So we have set your week for you. So you go out there and you be phenomenal and be the greatest that you can be. Have a safe and wonderful rest of the week. And we thank you for joining us this Monday evening. And don't forget to join us again Thursday evening, same time, same place, Bridging Generations. Have a wonderful Monday evening.
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my armor and I write His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying